my archetype feat. So this was interesting to me because my understanding reading the core rulebook was that if you're going to do archetypes, which is essentially multiclassing light, I think about it maybe in Pathfinder, though that's probably not 100% accurate. You can either choose an archetype feat or a class feat, but I'm understanding now that there is a variant rule that will essentially let you do both. And we are using said variant rule, correct? So that's why I could take both a class feat and an archetype feat. And I kind of like this because people who watch my channel know, like, I love multiclassing. I almost never build like straight class characters in D&D, with a few exceptions. And so learning that like there's no real multiclassing in Pathfinder was like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm out of here.
That's what launched the series. The video series.
I love the fact that there's no multiclassing in Pathfinder, because multiclassing and all of the stupid combos and all the garbage that they come up with in D&D 5th edition is one of the most annoying things for me. So Pathfinder, that there's no multiclassing, it's actually balanced, is like one of the most marvelous things to me. I love it. So
well, and so this, I feel like kind of it mollifies that aversion in me, right? Where it's like, no, like playing with this variant rule where it's like you get archetype feats, like everybody gets one. Now, I appreciate that some archetype feats are not class based, right? I don't think there are any in the core rulebook unless I'm mistaken, but I'm seeing here now that there's like acrobat archetype, blah blah blah. So like they're not class based. But the fact that I can be like that, I can take a rogue archetype feat, which is what I've done here, the rogue dedication, to just let my monk feel a little bit more like I want to be kind of like a ninja, as opposed to like a, you know what I mean, way of the open palm monk or whatever. Just kind of helps me maybe feel a little bit more, I don't know, like I want my monk to be.
Right, I feel like that's good though, because that allows you to create what you want with the flavor you want, exactly kind of how you want it. But it doesn't open the door for things like splashing 2 warlock, because that's what everybody does.
Because you can now attack with your charisma. Yeah,
exactly.
Totally.
So it's like it gives you the flavor, the ability to roleplay what you want without all of the cheese of D&D 5th edition.
The problem with multiclassing in D&D. Well, this is a tangent. Sorry, you can cut this. Just like,
no, keep it in.
The classes are so front loaded, right? And so it really encourages you to multiclass because you can get so much for a very small investment. And by contrast, the later levels, it just doesn't scale very well, in my opinion, outside of maybe spells, higher level spells for spellcasters, right? Doesn't tend to scale very well. And so it's like, I could just stick with barbarian, but like I'd be so much better if I dipped into whatever. So yeah, I do appreciate sort of both being forced to stick with a single class, but still given options to help me make my character feel a little bit more nuanced. Do you know what I mean? As far as building to the concept and giving me some fun little tools to play with. Like the rogue dedication just tells me basically that, if correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm hidden or like not unnoticed, what's the
hidden or undetected?
Undetected, thank you. If I'm hidden or undetected, then I get to roll my stealth for initiative as opposed to perception if I wanted, right? And also when I go before another enemy on that first round of combat, they're flat-footed, so that's cool.
Yeah, just the first part, rolling stealth for initiative, anyone can do. What this rogue dedication feat does is lets you treat everyone who's not acted yet as flat-footed.
Right. If I roll deception or stealth for initiative.
Yes.
Right. So.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question. Is the first D4 Deep Dives Pathfinder build video going to be based off of this build that you're playing today?
It very well may be, although because people who watch my channel know monks are my favorite archetype to play in any role-playing game, and they kind of suck in D&D. That's somewhat debatable. If Chris were here,
necessary
he'd definitely tell you that. I might instead do a rogue with a monk archetype, just because I like the idea of being able to use dexterity for both my plus to hit and my plus to damage. But as far as I've seen so far, the only way to do that in Pathfinder is if you take the rogue and go with the thief subclass. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll make a rogue who has that thief subclass, and then do lots of monk feats, like for the archetype, to make him feel more monkish. I don't know. I'm kind of playing with that concept.
One thing that I missed that's easy to miss about the rogue dedication feat is that you get a skill feat. You got a skill feat for free at level 2. Even Pathfinder 2 players miss this. Okay, so you'll look for that. I wanted to mention on the multiclassing discussion, which I just realized is going to be great content if I were just to clip that in the video. Yeah, thank you.
I was going to tell you, he said it's a tangent, you can cut it, but that is spectacular information to show somebody. Yeah. In my opinion, one of the ways that the Pathfinder is superior to D&D 5th edition and why it makes for, I don't know, it's a better designed game because it doesn't have all that cheesery and that tomfoolery with splashing low-hanging fruit garbage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, two things. One, you should know that people really do like what you're talking about, Colby. Leaning into another theme, another archetype, but they also don't want to give up their class feat for it. And so the free archetype variant is really popular on the D&D subreddit, Pathfinder subreddit for 2E. There was a poll put out, how many of you use the free archetype variant, and it was a majority of the people who responded. It's the most popular by far variant in the system.